Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Revere Cultural Council to order, August 11th, 2022. If you could join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Ms. Harrington, if you could take attendance, please.
Present.
Yesenia Arango. Chloe Gladue. Present. Chin Lee.
Present.
Brendan O'Brien.
Present.
Farah Sheikh. Lonnie Stevens.
Thank you. So I just wanted to make a statement about the upcoming grant cycle. At the last meeting, I misspoke, or the grant portal opens up on September 1st and closes on October 17th, not November 1st. Last meeting, I indicated it was going to stay open until November 1st. That is not the case. October 17th is the last day to put in an application on the state website. Thank you. Our next order of business is going to be electing of two co-chairpersons that will assume office on the September 8th meeting. Do I hear a nomination for the first co-chair? I hear a nomination for Samia Al-Tahaj. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Thank you. All in favor? Congratulations, Samia. The co-chair, do I hear a nomination for the co-chair? Thank you. I hear a nomination for Chloe Gladue. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you. Congratulations, Chloe. You will assume office on September 8th, 2022. That would be our next meeting. We also have a position of treasurer. I know some of our members aren't here right now. Do I hear a nomination for treasurer, or should we hold that till the end of the meeting when more people may come? Do I hear a motion just to move that to the end of the meeting?
Yeah, why don't we hold it?
Okay, second, thank you. So we'll have that at the end of the meeting. And if nobody is interested at the time, we can certainly do that at our next meeting. So we now are going to review the current financials. So the bottom line has stayed the same. There have been a few applicants who have put in for reimbursement, and we've paid them out. So currently we have a balance of $52,693.45. We have $35,905 encumbered, with a remainder of $16,788.45. That will be added to the amount that the state grants us this year. I received an email from the State Cultural Council today, and they will be giving that information on or about August 25th. So we'll be hearing what our allotment is going to be at that time. I have also some of these other applicants that have not submitted for reimbursement or have not had their programs yet. I've called most of them, and they are all still very interested in doing their project, and some of them will be happening over the next couple of weeks. So if we do hear from one of these applicants that they will not be moving forward with their program or their what they were granted, we can add that money to what we will be granting out this year. Thank you. So the next order of business will be to review of policies and procedures and guidelines for applicants to go by as they file their application this year. This needs to be reviewed, and if changes are made, we need to get this on the state website by August 31st. So when the grant portal opens on September 1st, the applicants will know things that we're looking for and what our priorities are. So I'll go through them. Obviously, a lot of them we will be keeping, but if anyone has a priority or that they would like to add, or if you would like to change the wording on some of them, please just stop me at any point and make your recommendation, and we can vote on it. So the first one is applicants must live in Revere or be sponsored by an organization in Revere. Being sponsored, as an applicant puts their application on the site, they would have to include a letter of support from the organization in Revere that is interested in their program, such as a storyteller going to the library director will send a letter of support to that organization or individual, and that will be included in their application. Second, the project must be done in Revere, be about Revere, or benefit Revere residents. Number 3, applicant must document competency in the field for which they are applying. Third, the fourth
Do you think
one.
we can possibly switch the wording for that? Maybe documenting how they're going to be distributing the money, as like, because I know they're going to be doing maybe just more of a layout or a switching of the wording of that.
Okay, we could certainly do that. So your motion is to change this to applicant must document, how are you? Just press you. You want to strike the word competency?
Yeah, I would strike competency in the field, must document how funds are being used.
Okay. All in favor of that change? Okay. Samantha, you have that? For the application, must include a project timeline. Number 5, the applicant must present the project to the Revere Cultural Council on a specified presentation date.
Question about that one.
Sure?
Does that just mean like get the application in by the deadline, or is there, because that makes it sound like you have to come to a meeting and present something to us. Is that?
Yes, that's a good point, and I really don't see the reason for that line to even be in there. Applicants know they must have it into the state website by October 17th, and in their application, they give the date of their performance or presentation. So if you have a motion to strike that, number 5?
Yeah, I'll move to strike it.
Okay. Second?
I second that.
Second. Okay, all in favor that number 5 is struck? Number 6, application must include a detailed budget. Number 7, projects requesting in excess of $5,000 must supply 3 letters of community support. Just from my years being on the board here, that really hasn't been something that's been done, and I don't really see a necessity for that. If anyone agrees, I really can't make a motion from the chair, so if anyone agrees with that, make a motion. If not, we can keep it. please press your,
Oh, always.
Okay.
I second that.
okay,
Just-
second, thank you. All right, all in favor? Number 7 has been struck. Number 8, if equipment or capital improvements are part of the grant proposal, the grantee must demonstrate a cultural purpose, be for a one-time or special need, and should be clearly justified by some longer-term public benefit. Applicants must demonstrate a 2-to-1 match. Applicant must show that it has $2 for every dollar requested from the Revere Cultural Council. Number 9, applicants should be aware
Could you
that
just go into more detail of what that meant?
well, a capital expenditure would be if you wanted to, say they wanted to buy speakers or audio equipment, or if someone wanted to buy display cases. So that would be rather than a presentation or a performance, it would be an item that would be purchased, and they would have to show that it would benefit Revere, not just in this one instance, but in a continuing benefit to the city. So it's more for equipment, costumes, instruments, things like that. We generally don't get these applications, but we have had a couple. I know there was a mariachi band that taught the instruments to children, and we did purchase some instruments for that organization. So that's basically what that means. Okay? Number 9, applicants should be aware that the actual funding of recommended projects is often delayed by 6 months after the local recommendation. This should be taken into account when planning the project timeline. Number 10, all grant applications must be printed or typewritten. I guess we can, in this day and age, we can strike that. Everything is online. So maybe do I hear a motion to strike that?
Motion to strike.
Motion to strike, a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? We'll strike that. Number 11, projects must be completed within one funding cycle. So that's a requirement by the state. We also have the ability as a council, if someone comes, submits a letter to us in writing that for some reason, beyond their control, they have to delay it for a year, we have the ability to grant that. So we may want to add to this line, projects must be completed within one funding cycle unless a demonstrated need is presented to the council for a 1-year extension. Do I hear a motion to add that?
Then I would move to add that.
Okay, thank you.
Also, should we say like, no, I don't mean to be like, must be completed or else, but if it's not completed, what happens?
Then we take the money away from them and, well, not take it away from them, but we take that money and we re-grant it out the following year. Okay? Here a second? Second? All in favor? Number 12, public programs must be held in handicapped accessible buildings. 13, funding of grants is contingent on both availability of sufficient funds and relative benefit to the community.
I just had a comment to make on number 12. I was hoping to move it to all programs must be handicap accessible.
Even if, like, held outside or something? If it's not in a building?
Yes, and the
Okay,
people
sure.
should still make adequate,
Okay. Do I hear a second to that change? second?
Second.
Second? Thank you. All in favor? Are we okay, Samantha? You keeping? Okay. 14, field trip applications must include a statement that the project is not funded through the school department. That's a requirement by the state. We're not supposed to fund or be a funding source that would normally be funded through some other organization, in this case being the school. So if the schools are funding something, we're not granting money to replace that. This would be in addition to. 15, funds must not be used to substitute or replace existing publicly funded programs. 16, funds are not to be used as a sole means of support for programs of a continuing nature. The state looks upon local cultural councils as a way of getting programs off the ground, and usually 2 or 3 years funding a particular program, not so much a particular organization. So 2 or 3 years funding a particular program is about it for the Cultural Council. Now, a group or agency or can keep putting applications in as long as the program is different from the years before. 17, applicants may not be discriminated against on the basis of race, sex, religion, creed, color, national origin, disability, or age. 18, funds are not to be used for food or refreshments. 19, all advertisements, brochures, etc., must include a statement that the activity program is supported by a grant from the Revere Cultural Council, a local agency which is supported by the Mass Cultural Council. And number 20, failure to comply with these regulations and guidelines may result in disapproval. Okay, so does anyone feel another sentence or another blurb in here should be added? If not, we can move on to our priorities. Hearing none, we'll move on to priorities. We are prioritizing proposals from Revere residents, proposals that reach underserved populations, proposals that involve at-risk youth, collaborative projects between cultural groups and community organizations, art forms or humanities programs that are underrepresented in the community, new applicants or projects, proposals promoting local history, and proposals promoting local environmental issues. Is everyone comfortable with those priorities?
I move to slash the at-risk youth and do proposals that include the youth of Revere.
Slash the proposals that involve at-risk youth and substitute it with
Proposals that involve the youth of Revere.
the youth of Revere. Okay? Do I hear a second to that change?
Maybe also say just proposals that involve youth of Revere, including at-risk youth, or but not limited to, just so that I think that's helpful. I second that.
Okay. Is that change okay with you, Chloe, where you made the,
Yes.
okay. So proposals that involve Revere youth and at-risk Revere youth. Okay, have a second. All in favor? Any other changes or additions proposed? Okay. Moving on then to new business, public input. We don't have any members of the public here this evening. Does anyone wish to discuss anything that maybe we neglected to put in the agenda? I do know on, is it August 28th? There's a cultural festival at Suffolk Downs that we will be participating in. Does anyone have the time of that event off the top of their head?
It's from noon to 7 p.m. We haven't discussed what we would like to have there. I didn't
Okay.
know if we wanted a table or how we wanted to do that.
Okay, well, certainly, I think at a minimum, we should have a table with instructions as to how people apply, and maybe give them a little guidance on applying, where the grant portal will be opening up a few days later, and some examples of things that we have funded in the past to give people an idea what, and maybe interest them in applying. So I think at a minimum, that's what we'll do. And so that's on August 28th at Suffolk Downs from noontime to 7 p.m. And I encourage anyone watching to stop by and see us and take part in the event. At this point, do you want to table the nomination for treasurer? And we can bring that up at our next meeting while people have time to consider that position. How's that sound? So we'll table that until the September 8th meeting. Okay, if nobody has any other things to discuss, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Real quick, do we want to explore the possibility of getting a banner together if we're going to have a table? I don't know how quick the turnaround is for that kind of thing, but if we're going to do more public things, it's something we should maybe consider, and, anyway.
Okay, so we have a motion to purchase and produce a banner with Revere Cultural Council on it. Do I hear a second to that?
I second that.
Second. All in favor? Okay. Purchase of a banner. Okay, any other comments or business?
I think just for the next meeting, maybe to revisit just some of the priority consideration. I recommend that at some point, if anything comes up in the future,
Okay,
that we
so-
can revisit it.
Unfortunately with that, we are required to have this posted and completed by August 31st. Our next meeting will be September 8th. This needs to be finalized tonight, so applicants on September 1st have a clear understanding of what our priorities and guidelines are. So basically, this is it for this year. Okay. And Farah Sheikh has joined us. Thank you. So any other comments or new business that you'd like to take up tonight? If not, do I hear a meeting to adjourn? Actually, do I hear a motion to adjourn, not a meeting to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Adjourn, second? Second, thank you. Meeting adjourned.